Wall Street's done great. It can continue doing well, but it's Main Street's turn. It's Main Street's turn.
This is the biggest policy mistake in 95 years.
The Nasdaq is in a bear market and the S&P is quickly on its way. Trump's tariffs ended up being much worse than expected.
We got some breaking news for you right now because China's finance ministry is saying it will impose additional tariffs now on U.S. goods. That's going to start on April 10th at a rate of 34%.
The Great Reset is in full force and it's pretty clear. Trump wants a quick and decisive victory, making tariffs so extreme it's inevitable to have a global recession. The only way out of this is if Trump capitulates or we see a trade deal that all parties accept.
We are the debtor nation. We have the trade deficits. The surplus nation is in the weaker position. They're in a deflationary recession/depression right now. They're trying to export their way out of it, and we can't let them do that. They've just got such a big deficit with us that
they need our markets.
They can't survive without them.
Now, from my point of view, the two biggest players the market is concerned with are China in Europe. So far, China retaliated, causing the second leg down on Friday, but Europe is interested in negotiations. But if those turn sour, I'm expecting another leg down. Trump is betting on the Fed to cut rates, softening the blow for markets and the economy. But the Fed has reiterated they're not cutting rates unless employment breaks or inflation breaks. Now, because we got to wait for this data to actually come out, that leaves a huge pocket of volatility and potentially further downside. Now, markets are at extreme fear, and usually that's a good buying opportunity. But this is simply because when the VIX spikes, it usually capitulates, leaves a tail, and comes back down. But this time, the VIX spiked and it closed at the highs. Now, the last time the VIX closed at the highs and at this level was the pandemic, and then the VIX continued to surge, which made a better buying opportunity. And we also got to keep in mind the market is not going to turn around until the Fed signals more support, rate cuts, quantitative easing, which may not be anytime soon. Now, looking back at 2018, the markets needed negotiations taking place to recover. If there is retaliation, markets are going to dump. It's as simple as that. The good news is markets are extremely oversold, so you're probably going to get a bounce, just like last time, before we see if the European Union starts to retaliate. Both service and manufacturing sectors are reporting a huge contraction in employment, putting it in recession territory, but prices are also rising, and that puts stagflation on the table going forward, which is the worst case scenario for the economy. Now, someone's going to eat these prices, and it's less likely to be the consumer as they move to more essential purchases, so I'm expecting business employment to